Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Nigel once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. So, yes, I am uploading this review today. I originally was going to do this next week, but because admittedly I woke up so late, I decided I would move System Shock Radio to Monday instead. So, that will be on Monday. As for today's review, we have a match that certainly happened. And really, it's two matches, but it's all in one interconnected story. The problem is the interconnected story kind of sucks. So we continue our Halloween Havoc match reviews with a interesting one, to say the least. I'm talking about Halloween Havoc 1995. I have both matches involving Hulk Hogan and the Giant, the man who would become the Big Show. So, as always, I'm not a professional wrestling reviewer or analyst, just a man who enjoys a good time, which wasn't really had here. Admittedly, both these kind of, and the reason I say that it's kind of 2-in-1, the reason we're doing this 2-in-1 format is because it essentially is kind of the by the way, I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I am a little bit under the weather, which I think is also why I woke up so late. But yeah, so it essentially is like two matches for the essentially for the price of one, if you will, because both matches are connected. So we started off with the by the way, if you're new to these reviews, if you've seen these reviews before, you kind of already know how this works. If you haven't, let me talk about what I liked, what I disliked about both matches, essentially. So there's two matches here. There's the Monster Truck Sumo match, which yay, and then there's the WCW World Heavyweight Championship match later on. So Hulk Hogan is the WCW World Heavyweight Champion at the time, and then he was going to defend it against the Giants later on in the night. But first, this Monster Truck Sumo match. So let's just get it over with. If it, like what they did with, and I guess what I liked is at least the monster trucks looked kind of cool. They looked a bit cheesy, but they looked kind of fun, cheesy almost. It reminds me of like something that would be in the WWE Crush Hour video game, if you remember that game from the PS2 days. Unfortunately, I didn't play it, but I've seen gameplay of it. And it's kind of like monster trucks, kind of demolition derby type game. Hey, that kind of reminds me of like stuff you would see in there, but it's real life, and they tried it. They honestly tried their best to put this match over on commentary. It just did not work. Like, they tried, and props to them for trying, but they did not work. So, a Monster Truck Sumo match. You might be thinking, Nigel, what on earth is a Monster Truck Sumo match? Pretty much, just think of like a sumo match, and kind of the rules of that. You push your opponent out of the circle, and man, it's crazy to think that wouldn't be the last sumo match that the Giant / Big Show would be involved in his career. Oh no, sir. But essentially, you push. So it's that sumo match concept, both monster trucks. So you essentially have to push your opponent out of the ring. They have like a little ring set up like a little like platform area ring thing set up, and there's even explosives on the end. A total of one explosive went off, but you push your opponent out of the ring in order to win. So that's exactly what Hogan and the Giant did, and it was pretty dull. Like just kind of the trucks pushing each other back and forth, or pushing the trucks, as Brian Zane would say, in his wonderful song. But yeah, so they just like push each other back and forth, or you occasionally did see camera shots showing the Giant and Hogan in their trucks, but it did look pretty weird. So there was that. But then afterwards, they get out and they brawl for a little bit, they scuffle for a little bit before Hogan inadvertently knocks the Giant off of Cobo Hall, where the Monster Truck Sumo match was taking place, and where this event is taking place. So so the Giant is knocked off the ledge, and they're trying to treat it like he fell into the water and essentially died. Hogan actually pushes him off, and the Giant presumably dies. Or does he? Because as then we move on into the next match, not like the next match right after, but the next match in this kind of duology of matches, and this for the WCW World Championship. Hogan is supposed to be facing against the Giant, and the Giant is still presumed dead until he shows up. No explanation is given. Apparently, they said you have to watch the next night on Nitro to find out how exactly the Giant survived, or something along those lines. But I admittedly didn't feel like doing that. But yeah, the Giant just shows up, and they have their match, and this is also pretty dull. A lot of like rest holds and stuff, and a lot of like they pretty much try to replicate the magic of like Hogan and Andre, which is kind of like the crux of their feud, which is why the Big Show is the Giant character here. He's supposed to be the son of Andre the Giant, he's supposed to be getting revenge for what Hogan did to his father, or so that's where the name and the singlet and everything comes from. And they try to replicate that even with Hogan like body slamming the Giant, but it doesn't work. The slam did get a pop from the crowd, but it doesn't. But then we get some shenanigans, and not just as your average everyday screwy shenanigans. These are advanced screwy shenanigans. So Jimmy Hart turns on Hulk Hogan. Jimmy Hart is like managing Hulk Hogan, but he turns on him. First, he knocks out the referee. He attacks Hogan. And then the Dungeon of Doom, which was kind of like the villain group meant to take out Hulk Hogan, they come out, they beat down Hogan. Lex Luger turns on both Randy Savage and essentially Hulk Hogan in order to join up with the Dungeon of Doom, and they beat him up, and then the Yeti shows up, aka a giant man in toilet paper wrap, which tells you all you need to know about the character. It's supposed to be more of a mummy, but they call him the Yeti. So he shows up, and a double bear hug as he like dry humps Hogan along with the Giant. It looks really weird. And then Hogan is disqualified because Jimmy Hart. I guess how they're trying to frame it is that Jimmy Hart, because he was Hogan's manager and because he attacked the referee, Hogan's disqualified. But the title can't change hands of disqualification. But Jimmy Hart put in a clause in the contract saying the title can change hands, so the Giant becomes the new world champion. And man, even for a heel group, that's a lame way to win a world championship. But pretty much how that happened. So screwy shenanigans on top of a very dull match makes for a very bad combination of two very dull matches. If I had to find something to redeem about this match, like the in-ring stuff, yep, I can't find anything. If anything, the only thing I can say is that they kind of teased at a heel Hogan, because he was dressed in all black, he had red boots, he even had like his forehead painted like the Taskmaster, aka Kevin Sullivan. So they at least were testing the waters of a heel turn, and even his like attire kind of resembled kind of Hollywood Hogan a little bit, with like the lightning on the pants and stuff. But otherwise, yeah, this was pretty dull. But I told you we were gonna see some good Halloween Havoc matches and some bad ones, and these were some bad ones. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on my review and this match. Did you like to select the match? Did you like to select my review of the match? Because System Shock Radio is moving to Monday and Fastlane is tonight, aka also right now, as I'm recording this. Unfortunately, no predictions this time around. Yeah, let me know if you guys are excited for Fastlane and this like major episode of NXT that they have. They're bringing out all the big guns for this week's episode of NXT. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.